Hi, everyone. Debbie from Holistic Wellness, and thank you for joining. I have, sorry, a little bit of a bright background going here, but that's okay. We'll deal with it tonight. What we're going over tonight is really, to me, the foundation of growth, the foundation of rejuvenation, the foundation of just our ability to continue in a healthy manner. And what I'm finding more and more, there was one of the doctors on a call last week, beautiful, I mean, unbelievable doctor. And his name is Dr. I think he pronounces it Gabor Mate. And it's all about trauma and healing. And this doctor is brilliant. He's a Western medical doctor, but he goes more deep now into the functional medicine aspect of it, but not so much just functional medicine, more so into trauma and healing and how profound and how, like, what layers it actually hits on us when we are not addressing our trauma or not understanding or not able to be open or even available to understanding what this means. So what he was saying goes on in length, of course, is that trauma, like why we're seeing more chronic disease, stress, obesity, addiction, and so many other states of illness, more so than ever, we're having the most advanced, having all of these illnesses and all these going on, but we have the most advanced medical foundation, advanced medical system in the world. Like, why is this happening? And why is it not happening so much in other? Now, you can go all the way back to trauma, your life, your past life with parents, ancestry that we've actually all gone through. But even more so, it's our beliefs here and our connection to power, productivity, this these states that we put ourselves through of go, go, go and achievement and all, but we are more and more and more reclusing from nature, from rhythm, all that Ayurveda has said that is so important. And these brilliant doctors now, Western medicine doctors, are finding when they're getting to the root cause of their patients, and this is not just physical illness, this is emotional, psychological, our relationships, our work relationships. I mean, it's everything, all the way down to childbirth, what happens within the womb of the mother. It's profound what they found on the connection, the emotional, psychological, and physical connection of twins. As we know, there's many studies done on this, but now trauma of certain things that happened along the way with the mom while she's carrying twins, and different things that happened to her, and how it reflects on the twins before they're even born. What they could even just be, say they're paternal twins, and there's not so many absolute perfect, identical, characteristics and things, but the ability for them to connect on this physiological and psychological and emotional level, depending on what traumas the mother went through while being pregnant, is amazing what they carry through life. And then their stresses, the jobs they pick, the friends they keep, the habits they choose, the food they eat, they're both holding on to these, will turn these genes on or off. Now they've had and carried the same trauma, but they could possibly come out at different times in life, depending on the stress. And we're putting ourselves through, I don't want to call it so simply undue circumstances, because it's really not. It's the way our society has molded us and has gifted us with this, this mindset of how things are supposed to be. And just that mindset of wealth and power. The only way that you have ability to have any kind of worth in our society, in our minds as a Western, North American society or Western culture, is through your achievements, your wealth, your ability to have nice things or travel, is really, really based on your financial achievements. But if you go back to health, and you go back to bring it all the way down to our sanity, our emotional well-being, our psychological, these all have to go together. The body is not just a physical components of parts. So if you go back to all of that, the way we really have health and wealth, which is going to be a byproduct of our health, is through the nature, connecting to spirit, whatever spirit is for you, connecting to that physiological connection with the emotional and psychological components of us. So these doctors, these really brilliant Western medical doctors that understand the biochemistry of the body, understand the physics, all of this that goes on within human beings as a generic whole, that we all have these body parts. But the mind and the spirit are the connection that bring on what happens. And it goes all the way back to carrying things forward from ancestry. So something as traumatic as a Holocaust. There's trauma that people they're not even the generation that went through it, but they hold it through the stories, through the names they've heard, through the people they've associated with that have actually been a part of these tragedies, that they go through life with that same level of anxiety and never were there. It was never a part of them, but it's a part of their history. So we all have this, we all have something. If you go to really poor societies, some cultures that are just not as advanced and as lucky as ours, some women within these cultures, there was one study done where it was very poverty stricken, and this was not a community of like love and health, and it was more of a drug induced, really poor, horrible existence for these people. And every single one of this doctor's patients, every single woman had been sexually abused as a child. And sexual abuse can be emotional, physical, or psychological. It doesn't just have to be physical. So all of these things are contributing to who we are, how we're developing, how we're having relationships, how we're reacting in the workforce. And all of these contributing factors go into our health. And if we don't have the health part of it, and we don't understand where our health is coming from, we kind of can only get to a particular level with all of the other societal achievements. We can only get so far. But if you understand the health component and the connection, so in Buddhism, they believe that the mind not so much controls, but the mind states what the body reacts to. So whatever the mind is filtering in, or what is allowed to be exposed to, either beautiful or horrific, it controls the body's reaction. So someone said this week on a Dr. Mark Hyman said it beautifully, because we're all into tech, we're all into social media, we're not into it, but we understand supercomputers. So right now I am on my MacBook, my laptop, and everything, all of these, sorry, my glasses are kind of really weird reflecting here. I don't know what it's reflecting on. So our computers and all of the software that we're using, like right now I'm on Zoom, I'm using my internet connection, someone had to program these. Someone had to code all of this to work, and all of it to work properly. Think of your body as that super computer. Now, kind of advance that to, you're the programmer. You are the coder of all the software that's going on. So the software came, the computer came, that's us, with the hardware. It came with all, we were born with all these parts, but we are coding through our diet, our lifestyle, our emotional connections, our well-being, our ability to see nature or not, or we are putting that information into the coding system of our software programs. That's pretty crucial to me. Just the food element, as I learned in Ayurveda and I learned in a few other studies, not so much in nutrition, it was pretty funny, but the first things I learned in Ayurveda was food is information, not just its nutrition or not nutrition, it's information. So as we're coding our bodies every single day, the food we're putting in is coding the software to work properly or malfunction or get a virus or a disease or a bug. So we have the ability to hack our bodies, our computers, and we have the ability to hack these supercomputers in a positive or a negative way. So our input is really crucial. But let's go back to the beginning. What we sometimes aren't even aware of, or we don't think pertains and has anything to do with our health and our well-being right now, if we're genetically predisposed to something, that's what we're predisposed. That's it. That's what biology has told us and doctors for decades and decades and decades. Thank goodness this is finally disproved. There is about 7% on a general of all genetic diseases that people are predisposed to that they are going to get. The other 93% of those genes in your body are going to be turned on or turned off, depending on what you choose to do, how you are choosing to code your software. So this being said, one really, really important thing for us to look at, we're going to go into a couple parts to this, but I'm going to go into this. We're going to take a piece of paper out and a journal, and I'm going to pause the recording for a few minutes. And we're going to go, we all have something that we have maybe shared with one or two people, never shared before, aren't even really positive it's pertinent or has to do with anything. There is some issue in every one of us that we're carrying, or we might not think has anything to do with us, but we know an issue that our moms, our dads, their mom or dad, say somebody was really, again, like from the Holocaust or something, someone, immigrating here, or maybe you're from American Indian heritage and those traumas, whatever it is, you could have had so many women and young boys in America have been sexually abused, mentally, emotionally, or physically in their life at some point. We don't know how to address this. So something that traumatic could also be in us. There are things we're carrying that we think if we do certain things a certain way, it's not going to matter. It's not going to manifest in us. It's not going to have anything to do with us. But I'm here to tell you, it 100% has to do with who we are and how we are and what's going on inside us and how our health is. So I want you to take out a journal, piece of paper. Normally everybody has a little journal that they kind of put things down in. And I want you to only take like 2 minutes, and something that's in your past, or maybe you don't think it's in your past, but it was something in a family member's past that could possibly be impeding the health of your family or your community. Some of us have something that we know of, and it's going to get written down really fast, really quickly. So I want you to write that down. And then I want you to close the book. Just want you to write it down and think about it for a minute. Close the book. We're not going to dwell on it yet. We're not going to get into it. So I'm just going to pause us for like 3 minutes. So I'm going to time us for 3 minutes. I want you to do that. And then I'm just going to come back on in 3 minutes. All right. So write something down in your past that is a line of trauma somewhere within you that could be disturbing or upsetting or malfunctioning your software. Okay. I'm going to put us on pause. See you right back. All right. Welcome back. I hope everybody had something to write down. Now, something of this, whatever your magnitude is, great or small, it has to be addressed. It has to be felt. It has to be processed before the next stage of letting go can happen. But once we even just get to the point of acknowledging it, writing it down, once we write something down and look at it, it connects to an emotion. So if we connect an emotion to words spoken or words written, it becomes a layer of us. So once you have that there, after this call, I want you to go back and I want you to think about it for a little bit and think of things in your past that may have a connection, may not. So maybe you have had, so common in women, diverticulitis, some kind of irritable bowel, some inflammation. As we get older, a lot of women have like arrhythmias in their heart, AFib, something like that. You could have had chronic eczema as a child, headaches, constipation, eating disorders, stress related like obesity, different things like that could and most times have a connection to some kind of a trauma in ourselves, how we're carrying through family trauma. So what I want you to do after this is think about this for a minute, but now we're going to get on to the nicer side of things. Now we're going to go into, so this broad spectrum, what is some things of this nature create loneliness. They create depression, dullness, things in the mind where we retract certain times. But a lot of times this has to do with these incidents, these situations, things that are not being addressed. So there are doctors you could go see, there are practice you can do, there are supplements you can take. There are so many different avenues for healing, but you know what some of the basic ones are? Finding a sense of community, connecting with like people, being able to voice your love, your concern, your touch, your ability to be kind to other people and have other people allowed into your community, into your heart, into your space, into your bubble. And loneliness is a huge contributor to disease and illness and breakdown in the body. And the ability to not be grateful. That's another one. The inability, of not being able to smile or laugh more than one time a day. One of the most important things you can do for your body, for your mind and soul connection, simple, is to go out into the sunlight every day. Go out into the sunlight, breathe fresh air. If you're lucky enough to be able to walk barefoot out in the grass, it can even be concrete. It's not preferable, but you can do it. But going out into the sunlight, but feeling it, letting that sunlight connect, it feeds the cells it's a message. It calms the body, it calms the nervous system. And that ability to turn off societal, corporate, go, achieve, appointments. We're all busy, but like, where did that word come from? Where's the downtime? Where is the friend time? Where is the loved one time? And most importantly, when is that alone time? being alone within our thoughts and our minds. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people. But once you start to master that and you can feel what's going on, you can start to reprogram this supercomputer. You're going to feed it sunlight, very good food if you can, and start omitting the bad foods. Get on a routine, like wake up in the morning and be grateful, like do some breath work, back to our studies. But all of this in conjunction with trauma and breaking the body down and healing, if we don't address this, we really can't age the way our bodies were supposed to, and we can't age profoundly the way and vitally the way we were supposed to, the way we're really meant to. It's going to start to break us down. And when we're younger, we can repair faster from some of these. As we get older, it becomes harder and harder to repair from certain issues and some of that that supercomputer breakdown. You know, as a computer gets really old, if it's not maintained, if it's not reprogrammed and reset, it just decays and you throw it out and get another one. Our bodies are the same way. But when we break down and kind of really pass on, that's it. But we don't want that to happen. We are a supercomputer that is supposed to continue to be about 110. Like, we really can do that now and still be a supercomputer. So I want you to think about possibly what that trauma is that you might be holding on to that is creating dis-ease, illness, or for your programs within the supercomputer body to break down. Think about it. Add more to the journal. Take the time out of productivity and the desire to climb the ladder and take time off, take time down. Some in this community have children, new children, grandchildren, elderly parents. That community and that sense of belonging, that sense of holding on. We might have dear, dear friends that they're really important to us, and they're our family circle. We need to, as a society, really find the importance in these relationships and this loving and this connection to other human beings as vitally important. And to hold on to, you know, your baby, your grandchild, your friends, and give them love, give them connection, that sense of abandonment of, you know, women having to run back out to work. You know, when the poor baby is a week old, 2 weeks old, there are people that financially have to do this. That trauma, whether not intended, or, you know, it's the mom doesn't want to, the baby holds on to that. That baby is going to have that then through life, but with love and nourishment and the right community. And if we're lucky enough to be able to find, you know, daycare for a child, because we do have to go back to work, we all have obligations, of a loving, kind environment where the baby gets attention and love, baby's going to do better. And so are you. You are not going to hold resentment or negativity about this situation. You're going to embrace it and love it. So find nature, find compassion, find community, a sense of being, a sense of belonging. And we're going to start to put this together in disease to figure out how we are going to continue to age gracefully, beautifully, spiritually, and really find whatever wealth and achievement and health is for us. That's where we're going, and that's what we're going to get. So I look forward to speaking with everyone again. Everyone have a beautiful evening, and write something down in that journal. Take it back out when you want. And when you feel you get to the point where you have addressed it and you feel that it's not going to break your body down anymore. You're going to build your body back up with love and nature and food and reprogramming of that supercomputer. I want you to burn it. I want you to let it go out back into where it came from, out into dust. Okay, we're going to talk about that next. And let's get into aging with vitality. But we have to get rid of the past before we can go forward. Namaste, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you on the next call.